Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Looks across the middle. Picked off by Connor Harris. He's to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Connor Harris on the interception. Picked off by Connor Harris.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafelt, and I am now joined by Lindenwood Lions linebacker Connor Harris. Thanks for joining the show, Connor. How's it going, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's definitely great to get a Lindenwood Lion back on the show. And let's get right to it, Connor. Coming out of high school, you were the 2011 Missouri 6A Defensive Player of the Year, as well as the 2011 Kansas City Star Player of the Year. What was your recruiting process like, and how did Lindenwood University win you over?
You know, the recruiting process is always hectic. It's always busy. You got a month to take visits, and what I really liked about Lindenwood was, when I first came in on my visit, all the players treated me just like I was already part of the team. The coaching staff really showed interest in me. I love the facilities. I have a lot of family in St. Louis, and so, to have them be able to come to the games and support me is huge, and so that's how, I chose Lindenwood.
Were you aware that you were going to be able to play as a true freshman before committing to the school? And did you have any idea that you would have the impact that you had on the team in that first year of yours there?
Yeah, that was another reason why I chose Lindenwood. They told me I would have an opportunity to compete for the starting spot at middle linebacker as a true freshman. And, that really, opened my eyes. And, the big thing of mine is, not what division you play at. It's I wanted to play as much as I could because, you never know when you take your last snap of a football game. So I wanted to play as much as I could. And I just really liked Lindenwood. And so that's why I chose it.
Now this right here is almost unheard of. Ultimately, you did win that starting job as a true freshman, and as a freshman, you led not only the Lions in tackles, but the entire MIAA with 126, 8 of them being for loss of yardage. You also sacked the quarterback once, forced a fumble, and recovered 2 fumbles. No surprise, you were named the team's Freshman of the Year. What was it like being thrown into the fire like that and having your coach's trust to not only to have you out there so early on in your college football career?
It was a lot different. In high school I played free safety and also I played quarterback, so I've never played linebacker until I came to Lindenwood. What was cool was, we had a ton of seniors my freshman year, and they really helped me out as far as getting the playbook down, just learning a new position. And so they really helped me out a lot. And also with Coach Melvin, he really trusted me to go in there, and he threw me into the fire. And, he really helped me out a lot. We worked a lot of detail. Just learning the plays, just week-to-week stuff, just little stuff that, improved my game week to week. And, it was huge with having all the senior leadership around me. They're constantly just, showing me showing me the way pretty much. And, it was really helpful.
And after that successful freshman year, Connor, you started the first 3 games of the following season. You're on your way to having another big year, but against Central Missouri, you separated your shoulder and would have to miss the remainder of the year. What was your reaction when you heard the news that you'd be out for the season, and how's that shoulder feeling nowadays? Has it bothered you at all this season?
Yeah, when I first injured it, there was about 4 minutes left in the half, and I thought it was just a really bad cramp in my shoulder, and I started playing on a little more, and before I knew it, I couldn't even feel my arm. So I came out and I talked to the trainer, and he told me he was separated, but he didn't think it was as bad as it turned out to be. So I sat out a few weeks, and then turned out I had to get surgery. And that was very hard for me because I never, had a injury that took me out of the game, let alone pretty much the whole season. And so, coming off a big freshman year, I was looking to do, a lot more things on the field and, being nominated as a captain. So that was really, really hard to lead from the sideline. Not really used to doing that as far as being a vocal leader, more of a, leading by example. And so that was really hard for me. As far as, my shoulder feels now, it's 100%. It felt really good this season. I didn't really have any problems with it. There's a few times where I landed on it that it kind of hurt for, a play or two, but it wasn't very hard on my shoulder this year, which is, I'm very blessed because it took a while to, rehab it and get it back to 100%.
Chris Shanafelt talking to Lindenwood Lions linebacker and probably one of the nation's best kept secrets, Connor Harris. And let's talk a little bit about this season, Connor. You came in in 2012, so this is your first year without one of the leaders on the defense, cornerback Pierre Desir, a great guy. I had a great time interviewing him. Definitely an awesome guy. Not to mention he has a hell of a story. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. What has the absence of Pierre Desir? How has that impacted you guys as a team this season?
Not having Pierre is a huge loss for us. Not only just, by his play on the field, but also his leadership. He's another guy that led great by example. And the thing with Pierre is, his story is unbelievable. And, he comes in and day out with a smile on his face, no matter what, always looking to help the younger guys and, really just being that, that positive leader every time. And so not having him on the field and leading is huge. He shut down a whole side of the field, which helped out our defense a lot last year. So, we struggled a little bit on defense this year, and so it could have been because of his absence. Because he played every snap he was here. So not having him was pretty big.
It was a tough year for you guys as a team, Connor. You guys opened the season with a 44-38 victory at Washburn. Then you guys went on to lose 9 straight. And last week it was the final game of the season at Northeastern State, and you guys were able to end the season on a good note with a solid 35-16 win. What was it about this season that you guys just couldn't get it going?
I think we struggled a little bit, just kind of with execution. That was our big thing, and just I would think, we were in all those games, and, the scoreboard might not have shown it, the statistics might not have shown it, but, a few plays here and there, we could have came out with some wins. And so, going into this offseason, one thing we're focused on is executing and pay attention to those little things, just the little details, in the weight room, on the field, in the classroom, things that we can just get used to doing that will help us execute and hopefully win more games next season.
152 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a couple interceptions, and a fumble recovery. How do you feel you performed this season, and what specific part of your game, if there is one, are you going to aim at to get better?
Yeah, I think I improved a lot from my freshman year and even the 3 games I played last year. It's tough, playing a new position. Coming in from linebacker, so there's a lot of things I can really get better at. But one thing that stuck out to me was playing this new position. I'm closer to the line of scrimmage. I got to attack the line of scrimmage more, and one thing that I see a lot I struggle with is getting off blocks and taking on the big linemen because I'm not used to that. So one thing I'm going to work on this off season is really working my hands and getting off blocks.
Sounds good. Chris Shanafelt talking to Lindenwood Lions star linebacker Connor Harris. And Connor, there's been a few times you've been asked to punt the ball, and you aren't all that bad at doing that. But this past week at Northeastern State, like I said earlier, it was the final game of the season. You've seen 11 snaps at running back, and that's right, a linebacker played running back this past week. And many might think that might not be a good idea, but it was a brilliant idea for you guys. You rushed for 188 yards and 4 touchdowns. What strings did you have to pull to make that happen?
Yeah, well, I mean, my freshman year, I played a little bit of quarterback and did a little bit of wildcat stuff where I'd run the ball and, you know, if we would decide to go for it on 4th and inches or 4th and short. And so, you know, Coach Ross told me at the beginning of the week, you know, hey, we got a couple plays in there for you, and you're going to be doing the same thing. But, you know, we're going to throw you in there 1st and 10, you know, at the beginning of the series and see how you do. And, you know, just blessed to have a, you know, great blocking. You know, the O-line stepped up, the wide receiver stepped up, and even our fullback stepped up, and it was easy for my part. You know, I just had to run the ball to, you know, everything was wide open. So, yeah, it happened to work out really well, and, you know, hopefully I'll be able to carry that into next season.
I apologize, Connor. I've been talking to Lindenwood Lions star linebacker. I guess I should change that to star linebacker, running back, punter, quarterback, etc.
Yeah.
Final question for you, Connor, and like I said, I really do appreciate your time, man. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I know the season just ended, but what are your goals for next season? And actually, is it too early to ask you what your expectations are for next season?
Yeah, I think, you know, one thing that we take pride in Lindenwood is, you know, one of our goals is to always win the national championship. And, you know, it might, you know, some people might laugh at that, you know, coming off the season where we went 2-9, but, you know, we're going to prepare to win the national championship next year. And, you know, one thing that I want to do is win more games. And, you know, we're not going to sit here and say, you know, hey, well, we went 2-9 the year before, we went, you know, 3-6, so let's just win more than that. You know, we want to win it all, and so we're going to take it week by week and, you know, shoot for a national championship. So, you know, expectations are still high, and, you know, they always will be. So, you know, going into this off season, we're going to prepare to win a national championship next year.
Hey, that sounds absolutely fantastic, Connor. Like I said, I really appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. You know, I always try keeping an eye out for these small school gems, and you're definitely on that list. Before I let you go, is there anything else you have for us?
No, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. It's been an honor, and, you know, look forward to speaking with you in the future.
All right, thanks, Connor. Hope to keep in touch and take care. All right.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.